Friday night live stream, and today we're going to be talking about Zoopla's June House Price Index, which I think is one of the best indexes that there is. So yeah, it's one which goes into a lot of detail. It goes into sort of regional variations. It goes on a lot more data than just what Rightmove's has to do with just asking prices. So if you don't know, Zoopla own a number of companies, a number of different types of organisations that can pull in a lot of data, including surveyors' data. So if you're getting a mortgage and the surveyor mortgage valuation is going around, Zoopla have access to what that property is being valued at and a whole heap of other information as well. So I think that, yeah, Zoopla's is probably one of the most accurate and timely house price index that there is available at the moment. And what I'm going to try and do is get into each month their report, and I'm going to share it with you guys. I'm going to bring it up on the screen as well and read through it and go through some of the bits which I think are important, some bits which I don't know, just stand out to me. And also on these live streams, I'll let you know what I'm experiencing in North Essex. My particular area is getting a lot of media attention lately, which, yeah, isn't great. Isn't great. Whether that affects the housing market where I am, I'm not too sure. I'll let you work out where I could or couldn't be in the country. So let's get into the report. We're going to screen share it, go through it very briefly, and then if you have any questions or want to discuss it, then please pop it in the comment section, or if you are watching live, then of course write your comments in the live bit, and we'll go through those at some point. So here we go, let's get into it. Right, so UK House Price Index for June 2024. Even though June hasn't quite finished yet, here are the numbers. So UK annual house price inflation is flat at 0%, so no gains and no losses over the year for the whole of UK. Current overvaluation of UK house prices, 8%. They'll get into that a little bit later. They'll explain how they work that out as well. And 75% of the proportion of expected transactions have already been agreed or have completed this year. So Zoopla predicted there'd be about 1.1 million transactions completing this year, and we're 3/4 of the way through that already, and we've still got quite a few months to go as well. Although the average transaction is taking 4.5 months to go through, we should easily hit Zoopla's expectations for completed sales. So executive summary. So the summary to just summarise, I suppose. UK house prices unchanged over the last 12 months. Prices rising across all areas over the last quarter. Annual rate of price inflation remains negative across southern England, rising elsewhere. Now we're going to get into that a little bit later in the report. Home buyers and sellers largely undeterred by the election campaign. I think because it was so underwhelming, the manifestos, and so quick, a lot of people probably aren't put off by it. Demand 6% and sales agreed 8%, both higher than last year. I can definitely vouch for that. 75% of the 1.1 million sales are either completed or in the pipeline, and they calculate that house prices are currently 8% overvalued, and by the end of 2024 prices will be fairly valued. Wonder what fairly means. And UK house prices on track to be 1.5% higher over 2024. So let's just go over those brief bullet points, the executive summary from Richard, who produces this report. So UK house prices unchanged over the last 12 months. So that isn't saying that nothing's happened to house prices over the last 12 months. It's basically said that where we've had losses, they may have gone up, and where prices have gone up, they've gone down, and they've averaged out over the year to be flat. So there has been movement in the housing market. Excuse me, my cat's just being a plum. Say hello, Alice. Nah, I've got to shut the door, so she might be jumping in and out of stream. Yeah, so house prices haven't done nothing over the last year. They have done this, or maybe like that. But again, with the regional data, we're going to see a little bit later on, which I'm not sure if you'll be able to see too clearly, but I'll be able to explain it to you, that, yeah, over the last year, house prices haven't grown. Yeah. Yeah, and the prices rising across all areas over the last 4 months. Annual rate of price inflation remains negative across southern England, which is where I am, or southeast, but rising elsewhere. So let's get into some of the graphs. He says, let's get it up and running. Where are we? And if you are watching live, don't forget to say hello. Don't be shy. I always love to see who's watching. And if you can give the stream a like, that'd be fantastic as well. So yeah, give the stream a like if you can. So general election campaign fails to dent housing market activity levels. So we've got 19% higher stock for sale, which is great if you're a buyer, not so good if you're a seller. The flow of new supply 4% higher as well compared to last month. Number of sales agreed 8% higher, which is great for us estate agents and sellers. And the buyer demand is also up 6% as well. Now, while I've been setting up this live stream and actually while I'm talking to you, my work email has been buzzing with inquiries from Zoopla and from Rightmove of people wanting details and viewings. So I should really turn that off because it can be quite distracting. But when I do have my emails come into my phone throughout the night, I'm getting constant emails from buyers asking to view properties or asking questions about properties. So in terms of buyer demand being there, absolutely. There are lots of people that want to buy. But as I've said the last few live streams and videos, it's really the ability to buy and the affordability to buy. I would love to buy a bigger house. I'm always looking on Rightmove, not just for my job, but because I like to see what our next house would potentially cost us. Doesn't mean I'm actually able to buy or willing to buy as well, I suppose. So yeah, lots of demand. Sales agreed. I mean, we haven't noticed much more in terms of sales agreed, but we are on average selling about a house a day at the moment over the course of the year. We've had a couple of months which have been less and a couple of months that have been higher, but I haven't noticed, particularly in the last 4 weeks, the amount of sales being agreed has shot up by nearly 10%. But as I say, we're quite high in terms of sales anyway. New flow of supply 4% up. Yeah, definitely loads of new people coming to the market, and obviously the available stock for sale nearly 20% higher as well. So again, if you're a buyer, lots and lots of choice out there for you. No reason to be forced into overpaying, because there should be enough comparable properties on the market for you to sniff out which ones are overpriced and which ones are at the right price for you. So home buyers and sellers shrug off election. The recent pickup in sales market momentum has continued over the June, a slightly slower pace than the previous 2 to 3 months. New sales agreed are still running at 8% higher than a year ago, and other key measures of market activities are also higher year on year. I mean, we're very happy with how the year's going. Apart from how long sales are taking, that's always been a bit of a bugbear for estate agents, is how long it takes you to get your money. Has gone from sort of 12 weeks a few years ago right up to 16 to 18 weeks now, so that can be a bit of a pain. There are signs that market activity is starting to slow as we approach the quieter summer period. Buyers and sellers who were at the start of the home buying process when the election was called are more likely to have delayed their buying decisions until after the election, adding the slowdown to activity. Again, I've not seen that yet. I think if we would have seen it, it would have happened by now. And we haven't had that yet, personally, where I am. And again, guys, I'm only going to be able to tell you what I'm experiencing in my area. So it'll be different for where you are. I've had people commenting on some of my videos, my last live stream. I forget the commenter's name, but they were saying they've seen 25% drops in prices, whereas I've only seen about 10% drop. And our areas, which we'll see in this report, have actually gone up by sort of 5.5% as well. So all of these figures, all of this data is an average. You need to see what's going on in your particular area. So don't rely on me, don't rely on YouTube or anything like that. Have your finger on your pulse in your local area. As you can see here, sales agreed are down slightly month on month across all regions. North East down 6%, West Midlands down 5%. The overall stock of homes for sale continues to grow across all areas, albeit at a slower rate than recorded over recent months. There are still almost a fifth more homes for sale than a year ago. Again, lots more choice for you guys. House price inflation static, still negative in the south. I'm guessing that's annual. Yeah, annual, yeah. Improving sales volumes over half one of 2024 has led to a firming in the average house prices, which is reflected in our house price index. All regions and countries of the UK have registered an increase in house prices on a month-on-month basis since January. That there absolutely shocks me. Absolutely shocks me. Let's read that again. All regions and countries of the UK have registered an increase in house prices on a month-on-month basis since January. So 1 month, a blip, 2 months, a double blip, but we are talking 6 months of house prices. And these aren't just asking prices, guys. Zoopla has access to so much more information than what you and I can get hold of. They're dealing with agreed sales, mortgage valuations, all those bits and pieces. So if they're experiencing an increase month on month for 6 months, is crazy. And this is the first month where it's gone up in all regions month on month. So I think that's a real big thing there, that confidence somehow, and strangely enough, people are buying and prices have started to, I'm going to say, level off, because I don't think they're going to go down much more. And I could be wrong, but we've not seen it where I am. With a strong buyer demand and the right price properties, people are still buying, and we've seemed to put a plug in that trickle of house prices that we've had over the last coming up 2 years nearly. So 22 months we had our peak market about August sort of time. So yeah, and the rest of the UK are experiencing similar things. Everyone's getting house prices going up. 75% of this year's sales are completed or in progress. The 4 or 5 months between a sale being agreed and then completed, 4 or 5 months. Oh God, that's so long for me to get paid, guys. Come on. Means we have a good view into the sales pipeline for 2024. Our data shows that the market is still on track for 1.1 million sales this year. I wouldn't be surprised if it goes more than that. I really wouldn't. 3/4 of these 1.1 have already been completed or have a sale agreed and working their way through to completion. There are still over 250,000 sales yet to be agreed that we expect to complete by the end of 2024. So we'd need to have those 250,000 agreed in the next sort of 2 months for them to be completed this year, if they are taking 4 to 5 months to go through. The 1.1 million sales is 10% higher than in 2023, but still below that 20-year average. It's possible that the sales are rising despite higher borrowing costs and shows more realism in the part of sellers and renewed I can't read, it's been a long day, cautious confidence amongst buyers. So look at this graph here. I'm not sure how big it is for you. That's what she said. But we are nearing with that 1.1 expected transaction what the 20-year average is. You can see what happened in 2021 and 2022. Crazy times, absolutely crazy times. Bear with me just 1 second, guys. I've done a lot of talking today. I've had a very busy week, and my throat, along with being ill, hasn't helped the situation. The sales market has proved resilient. The housing market has been very resilient over the last year, given the rise in mortgage rates. These averaged below 2% in late 2021 and stand at 4.7 today, spiking well over 5% in October 2022 and again over the summer of last year. Higher borrowing costs have reduced the buying power of new buyers rather than sizable price falls. The main impact has been a sharp decline in the number of sales, which were 23% lower in 2023. And this is what I have to say to vendors quite a lot. I mean, a lot of the valuations we're going on at the moment, we're disappointing a lot of people, especially people who bought or tried to sell in 2022 before the summer and decided not to sell, or went on to sell and need to sell now. The prices that we're quoting are a hell of a lot lower than what they were the first half of 2022, and that's causing quite a few difficult conversations. But the fact of the matter is, borrowing costs have increased, so therefore buyers just can't afford to buy what they used to. It's the same for everybody who's on an average wage. A lot of people aren't buying the same amount of groceries. Do you know what I mean? They've cut down on things because they can't afford it anymore because everything else has gone up. And the same thing happens with people's affordability when it comes to buying a home. They can't buy the house they want, so they have to go for something smaller or start offering lower. And if a vendor's not looking to accept that, then yeah, a lot of difficult conversations lately. A lot of difficult conversations. House prices haven't fallen as there have been few forced sellers. I've not had one repossession. Blimey, I can't remember the last time I repossessed. It's at least a year and a half at least. Where was we? Unemployment has stayed low by historic standards, although it is rising, and there are a relatively small number of people struggling to pay their mortgage and falling into arrears despite wider cost of living pressures. Whether that changes in the next 18 months, 2 years, when people like myself who signed a 5-year fixed a couple of years ago, whether that changes in 2-3 years may be another thing. But I'm hoping personally that rates will come down. I'm building up my equity, so when I do come to remortgage, there won't be too much of a difference. And another thing, which I'm not sure if I pointed out on one of my last videos, is homeowners who have very young families, like children under the age of 4, at the moment, they're paying for childcare costs. But I think it's September this year or next year, working families will get 30 hours free child care from the age of 9 months until school. That is going to save me thousands of pounds a year. It's crazy, thousands of pounds. So if my mortgage does go up £200-300, I am still absolutely fine because I'm not having to pay thousands and thousands of pounds in childcare costs. And I think there'll be a lot of families over the next year or two who'll be very, very grateful for that support the current government have put in. I know I'm thankful for that. They've done a lot of crap things, but that thing in particular has really helped me and my family and has meant that we can actually plan to have more children if we want to, because we know that support is there. But yeah, I think a lot of people forget that there is help coming down the line for families who may struggle to pay their mortgage, but if they've got kids in nursery, then that's going to be a cost, or the vast majority of that cost will be absorbed by the government, and you can put that towards your mortgage or the cost of living crisis if it is still going around those sort of times. Hello Alex, how you doing? No notification? No. My wife got called into work last minute, so I thought I would just do this on the fly, mate. So yeah, just on the fly. You know me, live dangerously. But yeah, I think affordability for a lot of young families will change over the next few months. I think it's from September that the next bit kicks in. It might even be everyone, every working family from 9 months from this September might get free 30 hours childcare, which, I think is amazing. Absolutely amazing. Housing remains overvalued, but the trend is improving. One way we track affordability is to measure the extent to which actual house prices are higher or lower than the affordable house price, calculated from household incomes and mortgage rates. I don't think they've done this before, so this is an interesting metric. I haven't really read through it too much. The recent jump in mortgage rates led to house prices becoming overvalued by 13% at the end of last year. This is less severe than the run-up to 2007. Okay. And the late 1980s. Don't remember that. I was but a baby. Double-digit price falls followed both these periods of overvaluations. Price falls have been smaller more recently as the overvaluation was more modest and sales volumes have taken the hit. Okay. Faster wage growth over the last 3 years has boosted household disposable income and helped offset some of the impact of higher mortgage rates. Again, yeah. Mortgage buyers have also been taking longer-term mortgages to eke out that extra 5% plus of additional buying power. Yeah, I mean, it's going to cost them tens of thousands over the life of the mortgage, but hey, if you can afford to buy an extra 5% a house, then go for it. We estimate that house prices were 8% overvalued at the end of Q1 2024, but at the end of the year, this overvaluation will disappear. This assumes house price rises of 1.5% and mortgage rates remain at 4.5%. Oh, okay, so we can see the graph here, how they calculated houses were overpriced. So Okay, 2007, they were 53% overpriced. Fucking hell. Oh, look at that. Look at the 80s. Holy crap. Holy crap. So now we're predicted to go to be more fairer valued. Interesting. Very interested. On to interest rates now. Looking ahead, the near-term outlook for the sales market really depends on the outlook for mortgage rates, which are a function of the outlook for interest rates. Any reductions in the base rate over the summer and into the autumn will deliver a boost to market sentiment and sales activity, even though the impact of fixed-rate mortgages will be likely to be muted. Based on City forecast for base rates, we expect mortgage rates to remain in the 4 to 4.5% range into 2025. I remortgaged the year after that, so hopefully they come down a bit more. This is sufficient to support sales volumes and low single-digit levels of house price inflation. House prices in the south of England are expected to continue to underperform as they realign with incomes. Real income growth is the key to supporting sales and demand into 2025. So they're basing, if interest rates or the bank rates, interest rates go to 4.5%, then we should start seeing some modest level of increase. And the last thing before we round this up, guys, the last thing, we're going to look at two charts. This is annual house price growth per region. If you can't see that, you can see the first 11 are up year on year, with Nottingham, Southampton, Leicester, Oxford, Cambridge, Portsmouth, Aberdeen, and Bournemouth actually being down. If you're in Belfast, that's a 3.4% year on year, so congratulations if you're a homeowner in Belfast. But South East and South West, not looking good year on year. But this is the bit which I found interesting, and I hadn't realised this. I've been so busy lately, I've not been looking at these as much as I should do. So based on the 20 cities that Zoopla have decided to show, I suppose. If you look at the annual trend, you can see the ones at the top obviously having increases over the year. Then there's further south you go, and some parts of Scotland, the annual increase in house prices is not looking good. But look at this monthly trend. The monthly trend, all of these here are showing price increases. Every region of these 20 regions are seeing price increases, which I find that absolutely staggering. Absolutely staggering. And I'm not sure how to take that, because they shouldn't be, right? With mortgage rates high, supply really high. Normally when there isn't much supply, that's when prices start to go up. It's really, really interesting. Let me know what you think. Are you experiencing that where you are? Are you noticing prices? Okay, let's not say going up. Let's say they've stopped going down, because that's what I've noticed. I've noticed a stagnation in prices, not going up, not going down. But as I say, where you are, it could be completely different. I'd be really keen to know in the comments what you think as well. And you guys seem to like my reacting to moving home with Charlie's video. That's probably my most viewed video for a very, very long time. So if there's any videos you want me to react to, not just Charlie's, anybody in the industry you want me to have a watch and give my view on, please just link the video in the comment section and I'll do that. I am looking into signing up to his Best Agent Day, which I think has been moved to September because of the election. Probably he said it was the election. It could be low uptake of agents, so give him more time to advertise. But yeah, I'm looking into trying to do that, so I can show you guys what it's all about from the inside, if there's no legal reason why I can't. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Just a quick one tonight. Yeah, leave any comments in the comment section below. Subscribe if you're new here, because I will be trying to do more and more of these. I say this every time and I always don't, because I'm a busy man. But yeah, thanks for watching. Alex, thanks for joining as well. Really appreciate it. Like the stream if you haven't, and I'll see you again soon.